Yay! If you'd follow us upstairs.
Upstairs? Oh, wow! Where is this going?
Hello? This is my lovely guest.
Anthony, I'm Mean Friend Hook.
Follow our channels. You get to learn more about our brains and what we do. Please say hi, because we don't want to just speak to ourselves. Why would we film ourselves, right? It's not like we do it every day. Anyways, what are we talking about today, Anthony? Because it's a very big passion of mine. I want to debunk some stuff here.
Both you and I connect on drawing and visually is saying something, right? And I'm a horrible artist. I mean, I just self-describe horrible artist.
You said that, I didn't, but...
I mean, look at this, like, edit. This is for the editor. Look at this drawing I did of her.
Oh yeah, okay, so yes, we did that last time. We asked each other to draw ourselves in 30 seconds.
Yeah, and that's what I came up with, so...
And that's okay. Yeah. But what interests me here is that so many people say they can't draw. And it can be quite intimidating, at least I know that from the comments that I got, that, you know, oh, you're an artist, of course you draw, but I never draw because I don't know how to, I'm shy, I've done it only as a kid, I can't draw. So for me, it's very interesting to still see that Anthony still drew this picture and he draws a lot in his life. And I want to explore, why do you draw and how does it help you? What's going on there? For me, drawing has been another way of communicating. You can use words, I write, primarily write first, but I find that drawing, especially when you're creating a visual you're working with somebody, collaborating with a photographer or with a videographer, and you're trying to convey a concept to them, and telling them doesn't do as much justice as if they can actually see it, some form of it in front of them. So I try to draw these concepts, even though you can tell I've got a long way to go with the drawing, but if I can put it down on paper, what is in my head, it often helps a lot more than just writing a concept out on paper. So when you share it with your clients or you do it in a session with a client or whatever, what is their reaction? Is it kind of like a surprise that you actually draw, or is it like oh, that's cool? Like, how do they connect with that? Do you find it easier? Do you find it actually like, ooh, I'm not sure what is drawn here? What do people say? Sometimes they don't know what's on the paper, which is fine. What you're trying to do effectively is just do your best and your best ability to extract that image from your head and onto something that they can also see and translate that information into their heads. Obviously, there's gonna be things that are like, what did you just draw? I don't understand. But the fact that you have something on paper gives you something to talk about, gives you a starting point to discuss that concept. Because without it, it's just there's nothing to base it on. But if you at least have some geometrical shapes, some kind of distance, you can actually start talking about the concept beyond just words. And I think that makes it very helpful to work with, collaborate with artists, with photographers, again, with videographers, and it just really helps. Right, okay, so basically, what would you say to everyone that says, I can't draw? You can draw, just not well. And that's okay, right? Like, and that's okay. That's okay. Get in tune with, I think it's important to get in tune with how you express yourself visually, how you express yourself with drawing. And once you get a sense of how you can communicate best visually, you start being able to use that as an advantage to your own work. So a lot of people tell me stuff like, okay, great, Anthony, all good and well, but paper's in front of me or something and they freeze. Where do I start? What do you want me to draw? Anything. I think once you start, you have to start somewhere, and it's like word association. When you're thinking about your project or you're thinking about what you're trying to visualize and you don't know where to start, just draw the first thing that comes to your mind. Start from there and your stream of consciousness will take you to other places. But if you don't start somewhere, you're not going to unlock that kind of flow of creativity, that flow of thought to get to the point where you want to get to. So just start anywhere. If it's a smiley face, start there. If it's a feeling that you want to draw first, start there and then let it flow and see where it takes you. And do you always share your visual process and thinking with your client, or you kind of choose when you want to share that, or sometimes you just do it for yourself, or? A bit of both. Sometimes they don't call for it. Sometimes it helps myself to solidify a concept that I'm trying to pitch to clients or trying to convey to my clients. But yeah, not all drawings get shown. We want to see them. secret drawings of Anthony coming next.
Yeah, nobody wants to see that.
Yeah, me.
By doing these pictures, it really helps me also sometimes feel if it's a realistic concept as well. Because, you know, sometimes it works here, it doesn't actually work in real life. Sometimes I don't actually draw. Sometimes if it's for a video, I actually take pictures, right? If it's like for a video, if it's for a concept, I just shoot the video myself and just see if it works from, you know, the transition or the concept, if it flows well, if the narrative flows well. So sometimes it's not just drawing, sometimes actually use your phone, because actually it's the fastest way to visually represent something and to visually create something. So if you don't have pen and paper in front of you, just use your phone, just act out the scenes, act out the pictures, act out the, you know, create the image that you want. If you're creating something for a beer brand and all you have are just water bottles, just use those water bottles.
And so like my next question would be about that. When you do actually get into your doodle drawing kind of scenario, where do you usually draw? Like if it's your phone, or like do you always go on a paper, or you go on your tablet? Where should people kind of try? Because some things are a bit intimidating. I heard that tablets can be intimidating, for example.
The first thing I try and grab is probably some paper and pen, right?
Everyone's got that at home. Come on, guys, we all know it. Come on.
But that's the first thing I go for, is to try to do that and to try and, you know, map out what my brain is trying to tell me. And then, you know, further down the steps, you know, if it's for video, I start shooting the actual footage, I start acting it out. I want to be able to know that it's not just a pipe dream, it's an executable idea. It's as funny or as good as I think it is in my head. I need to be able to work it out from there. But yeah, it always starts with like pen and paper.
There you go. And like there's a lot of like, I don't know, journaling is like a hype thing, I find, at least. I don't know if you guys agree. So like writing your thoughts, ideas, kind of, you know, capturing what's going on in the brain, which is journaling very much about words. So would you say it's a form of visual journaling, or that's like something completely different? Is that a connection there?
In a way, I think it is. I think it's you trying to, when you journal, you're trying to talk your way into logic, documenting things so that you could step back and and go, right, this is what happened, right? And if you do it visually, that can happen too. I actually, in an art class in high school, they used to give us this thing called a journal problem. I don't know if you've ever done it.
No.
So I bought a whole sketchbook, and they said, you've got to do 50 iterations of this one concept.
Wow.
You choose
it's like NFTs, but back in the days. Where's that making money? Where are you minting it? Tell us.
It was like, so I chose the expression of a surprise, right? And I had to either draw or take photos or find things I can cut out for a magazine that represents surprise. And so what that did for me was it kind of stretched the limits of my imagination as to what represents surprise for me. It could be painting of the screen, it could be an exclamation mark, it could be a battery where it looks like an exclamation mark and reminds you of an exclamation mark. And you just start stretching your own kind of idea of how you can represent this one concept. I think it's a great exercise to do for anything. So, you know, maybe don't do 50, do 10, start with 10 and see what you do with it.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. But, you know, I think you'll surprise yourself. The more you do, the more you'll start thinking laterally and not literally.
So what would you say, Anthony, kind of closing it off? Because again, I can speak about this stuff for many hours, and yes, there's always this kind of like, you're an artist, I can't draw. So I'm trying to fight my fight here. But what would you say to anyone that's like, okay, well, like, you know, I can't draw. So like one tip of how they could actually start tomorrow. What is the thing that they could play with and see how it feels?
I think it's start drawing what you love. If it's for work, you start thinking about, you know, you just have to start somewhere. So just put your pen on paper and see where it takes you.
You just do it, right? You just get a pen and paper. It doesn't have to be anything profound. Like you don't have to now visualize your next pitch. You can just be like, oh, I'm thinking about this. How about drawing a circle and something? Whatever, right? Everyone can do that. Come on, everyone.
You know, a great place to start learning how to draw your visual ideas is DOODLELEDO. Great event. It's any event like that where you gather a community of people who wants to get better at this. You start encouraging each other and you start feeding each other's off of each other's positivity and energy, and we all get there together. So that's
DOODLELEDO's line is, I can't draw. So, you know, whenever you want to prove yourself that you can, do it. Anyways, thank you so much, Anthony, for coming in and telling your thoughts about drawing. And just please tell everyone that they should do it more, because no one believes me anymore.
What they do? Why would they be watching this video?
So thank you guys, thank you so much. Hopefully that gives you some sort of inspiration to at least pick up that pen and paper at least once. Come on, you can do it. And until next time, give us some inspirations. What would you like to see next? Ciao!
Oh my god, my head just shines off.
Oh, my head just shines.
I think it's when I like look down and then it's just.
I mean, to be fair, you don't need that stuff. Okay, we had a bit of a mishap. How do we bring back the setup? This will be interesting.